Welcome everyone. J.W. Ray from Jola Winery and Vineyards and End Post Restaurant here in Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. Today I'm going to show you a beautiful, simple dish, super versatile. It's a creamy mushroom ragu. So we made this for our Premier Club members for a appetizer, but it's super versatile. You can have it for a main course as well. I'll show you here a few little tricks. A lot of folks are, hey, what's a great appetizer, JW, to have when you have guests over besides cheese? I make this all the time. So I'm just going to start with a little bit of butter. I like to brown it a little bit. Don't burn it. Just a little bit of brownness to add some depth to this dish. I'm going to add these are cremini mushrooms. I prefer cremini and shiitake versus the button mushrooms. They add a nice beefy flavor almost. So we're going to just get these nice and buttered up like that. So I haven't done anything besides butter. I used unsalted butter. So I'm going to take a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I didn't put the garlic in first because there's nothing worse than a terrible wine than burnt garlic. So in that whole thing there, this is going to feed maybe 8 or 9 people as far as appetizers go. If you want to make this a main course, that'll feed about 3 people. So in there I'm going to put about 3 cloves of garlic minced, which is about equivalent to that right there. So I'm putting that in now. I'm also going to put in a little bit of red onion. I prefer red onion in this dish versus white or Spanish onions. So just a little bit there. That's maybe a quarter of an onion. That's not the main ingredient. It's just a little bit of aromatic to get going in here. So I'm going to saute this up. You don't want it super hot. You don't want to scorch the pan and scorch that garlic. So now one of my favorite herbs is thyme. Super lemony, citrusy. So I'm going to add, I don't know, that's probably a good 2 tablespoons of thyme in there. So we'll add that. And while that's going, I like to top this off with a little parsley chimichurri. It just adds some freshness. So this is going to be super earthy, creamy, rich, and it cuts with that rich earthiness and creaminess. I like to give it a pop of fresh herbs and garlic and lemon juice. I'll show you how to make that right now. I put this on my pizza, sandwiches. It's super easy to make. Take a regular Meyer lemon, and I peeled a few peels off just like thusly. There you go there, nice little peel. So I'm going to take that, and we're going to cut into small little ribbons, what they call chiffonade. You don't want to cut your fingers, just make sure the knife is always angled away from you. You don't want to be cutting into you this way, so always cut away and use your finger as a guide right here. Last thing you want is a fingernail or a piece of an index finger in your dip or your chimichurri. So we're going to go this way, a little chiffonade. I'm going to go through this way and give it a small little dice. So you want there to be a little texture here, and to me the actual rind of the citrus provides more citrus than the actual juice itself. You get more acid there, but this has a lot more of the flavor of the lemon. Why waste it? And it's super healthy. So, super diced up. And now with that, I'm going to use parsley with this. So I just washed it. I'm going to take the stems off. I prefer flat leaf parsley. And just to make sure it's super diced up, I'm going to dice on top of that. So you get a 2-for-1 basically. So now I'm going to dice the parsley. Yeah, and then kind of put your hand on here as a little leverage. Use the back of the blade, which is usually pretty sharp. And my mushrooms are still cooking. That's a good thing about cooking in your kitchen is prioritizations. So this way things are all finishing at the same time. So instead of me standing here watching this thing cook down like it's doing here, I can do other things. So you can see the consistency. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit now. So here's that chimichurri made out of parsley. A lot of times I use oregano, parsley. I just like this version. So now I'm going to put that in here. Super easy. Salt. Now I'm going to take that lemon, squeeze it like this so I get all the seeds in my hand. Like a little sifter instead of washing another dish. More lemon juice. It's okay if you get a lemon in there, a little. So there you go. Out. So I get the salt in there. Now garlic. So now I'm going to add about a clove and a half and some olive oil. Figure 50-50 olive oil to the acid, that lemon juice. And that'll be a nice little topping. Imagine that in your pepperoni pizza. Add some vibrancy and brightness and some acid and that herbaceousness of the parsley and the earthiness of the garlic. You gotta try everything, otherwise, you know, oh my, it's perfect. Pop of acid. All right, so now, here we go with the mushroom ragu. Make sure this is delicious by itself. Grab one of these. Perfect. So now, you can add about a cup of heavy cream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a cup. You're going to add to that cup you're going to add a cup of ricotta cheese. So there's a cup of ricotta cheese. And then almost as underutilized as lemon meringue in the kitchen is creme fraiche, a gorgeous, rich sour cream that's been cultured. So in France, they take sour cream, they put it on top of an oven like this for a few days, and it turns into creme fraiche. There you go. So I'm going to put a nice dollop of creme fraiche in there. Now we're going to reduce this. So I want some of that cream to cook off and evaporate the water content in the cream. And then we're going to stir all this together. Now you can do two things. Make this a beautiful topping on top of a crostini, or this could be a main course even. You can throw a little diced chicken in here, pre-cooked, or you can start the chicken off in here, little bits and pieces in the butter, and cook that, and then add the mushrooms. So just add the chicken a little bit first. So now, you think that's pretty much done, but I like to add a little bit of sweet vermouth, the Jolo sweet vermouth. So you could add Marsala, but I prefer the Jolo sweet vermouth. It's got all the botanicals. So I was gonna add maybe a quarter cup. It's got, look at that, beautiful color now too. So you get some wine, you get the aromatics, you get the brandy. Look at that, that's gorgeous. So now, we're gonna let that cook down. So you wanna reduce this liquid, meaning, let's say there's a quart of liquid in here, you wanna get less than a quart. So you don't kinda know it till you see it, but you want to thicken up a little bit. So let that thicken up a little bit there. So, now what you have is two ways to do this. You can either take the bread like this, throw this in your toaster oven. I prefer nice baguettes, and toast it. And then have both sides get nice and crunchy. You can put this in a nice bowl or on a plate like this. And then you're gonna pour that over there, get that nice crunch. So you have that, or as an appetizer like we mentioned. So you can cut the baguette in these little discs like this, and just add a little olive oil to them, salt and pepper, and then put them on a cookie sheet at home. So you could have this all on one cookie sheet, the whole baguette, and pop them in your oven so they get nice and crispy like this. So when they get crispy like that, that's the time to start dressing them. So this is a beautiful appetizer. You can even put what goes great with mushrooms, sausage. So you get a little slice of cooked sausage could go right here, and then put your mushroom sauce on there. So here you have that. Another great thing I like to do, instead of toasting it, I like to get a nice char to it. So simply take that and take your burner, take a pair of tongs, like that, and get a nice little char going. That's okay if it falls in. That gives it, not burnt, but it puts a nice little char on there. It's a unique flavor. You can see the mushrooms are really reducing now. See that? Look at that. So we'll char in this here. So like I said, this could be an appetizer or a main course. When I say main course, you can now take your pasta. Say you cooked your pasta, you take this and right over your pasta. Hot pasta right out of the, you just got through boiling this. Take that. Again, put some chicken in there. Absolutely delicious. Maybe a little bit more sauce. Look at that. That's a beautiful fall, easy day. Look at that beautiful char. It's going to add great flavor too. Isn't that pretty? So I'll take that off there. Don't want to overcook it. So here you go, that beautiful dish. Like that. And then you'll take your sofrito, or the chimichurri, excuse me, like this right on top. Maybe a little Parmesan cheese. Dinner is served in less than 10 minutes. And mushrooms, to my knowledge, are the only thing you can eat that actually increases your immune system. So you can look that up. Mushrooms are super healthy for you. So now, here you go. I'm going to make this beautiful little appetizer. You guys can just eat it at leisure. Look how nice and thick that got now. Like that, so you get the crunch of the crostini. You want it to be a little messy. It's fun. You need more wine to wash it down. Look at that. So now we'll take my chimichurri. And if you want, you could just plate it that way. If you want to be really super pretty about it, just have that one dish. And then you can recompile them this way. You need something to put it on, right? So you have that. Just a little kiss of this. Ah, voila. Maybe a little drizzle around. Just like that. I would opt for a beautiful crimson shadow, hot off the gold medal press at the International Winemaker Challenge in San Francisco. So the earthiness, the creaminess, now you get the garlic and the lemon juice and the nuttiness of the olive oil with this really vibrantly fruity and fresh crimson shadow. Absolute match made in heaven. Cheers, Jolo fans.